to Artfrofest. Today, I'm super excited because we're going to be speaking to Dawn Okoro. She's an amazing artist. So let's meet her. No. Hi, Dawn. I'm so pleased to see you today. Could you please reintroduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Dawn Okoro. I'm an artist based in Austin, Texas. I've been in, I was born here in Texas, raised here. I did have a stint where I lived in New York, and I love that, but Texas is home. I do art in different mediums, but I mostly paint. So I paint people, mostly women, mostly Black women, and my work is colorful, like highly saturated colors. I like to use texture. I like to use patterns, and I like to show movement in my work. And I hope that the work is really expressive.
Very well. And where do you find your inspiration? Because you've got so many, you're so colorful in your work.
So I initially found inspiration through fashion photography. I remember being a little kid and looking through fashion magazines and looking at these fashion editorials. And when I was younger, it was a time of like the supermodel, like the models by one name. And even though at that time I didn't realize like how, I don't know, how maybe shady the modeling industry or the fashion industry was, I just saw the image that was portrayed, to the public, and they were selling this fantasy with the goal of you feeling like you need that so that you can buy these clothes or buy that perfume. But I was always intrigued just by the fantasy images of these models wearing these clothes, and also I didn't realize it at the time, but like I was probably seeing the work of kind of like some of the same fashion photographers over and over, like like for example, I think one of my favorites from that era was probably like Richard Avedon. And so, yeah, I just was really intrigued by these fantasy fashion editorial images.
Okay. And what motivates you as a person to create, Misa, apart from your
Um,
inspirations?
it's for me, it just to create just feels so natural for me. It just feels like just what I'm supposed to be doing. And that goes back to, being a child and wanting to create work that's inspired by these fashion images. So creating just something I feel like I should be doing, but there are times where I don't feel motivated. And then if I go for a certain amount of time without creating, then I just don't feel right. And then I have to kind of, push myself to just make something, even if it's a drawing. And then I, get into the groove again, and I feel better.
That makes sense. So you do have it does happen when sometimes your fluctuation, your level of creativity fluctuates. So how do you manage
Mhm.
to boost it back?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because sometimes I don't feel as motivated to create, but then maybe maybe I have a show coming up, like I need to get started. And really there's no easy way other than like just get up and just start doing it, something. Even if I start small, at least it kind of gets the creative wheels turning in the brain a little bit, and then I'm able to do more after that.
That makes sense, obviously. So listen to that. It's not because you're not motivated that you cannot do anything. You got to push yourself.
Exactly.
So, and what's the concept behind your latest painting?
So the painting is behind me, and I can't show it to you yet,
Okay.
but it's a special commission, and it's for a product. It'll be on labels and maybe some other things. And my assignment was to show the personality of the owner of this business.
Mhm.
And so they told me, they like my aesthetic. They want me to do my thing as long as I'm just showing this person's personality. So that made it a lot more fun, because I'm able to be myself.
Mhm.
So the painting is very, very colorful. There's lots of movement. There's lots of texture. There's even a fabric on the painting. So I'm really excited to eventually show people the
We're
work.
looking forward to see it. When is it coming out?
Probably sometime next year, hopefully early next year.
All right, then we'll be on the lookout. We'll be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
And then, if I may ask, how do you stay connected with the art world? How do you keep knowing what's happening around?
I'm probably not as connected as maybe I should be, but I try to just stay connected, just naturally by just going to museums, or if I hear about a show I want to see, or go support a friend's art show, and then there's just social media, whatever I see there, but for the most part I just kind of just focus on just doing my own thing, because if I try too much to stay connected, I feel like for me it'd just be like just overwhelming. So I just focus on the things that I'm interested in.
That makes sense. There's so much going on online at the moment, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. And how do you compare your how would you say your technique of painting has evolved from when you started to now?
So my situation as an artist, I took art classes, when I was a teenager in high school, but I didn't go to art school. So yeah, I studied other things in college. So for me, it's really been a lot of trial and error, kind of teaching myself in a way, but I've had, like mentorship, and, I read and watch videos about techniques. But for the most part, my technique has largely stayed the same, but I've kind of gotten to a point where I just know what works for me. But I use acrylic paint. I like the way it dries fast, and so I just paint, layer by layer. But over the years I've kind of gotten it more honed into a way that works best for me.
All right. And then like obviously so that means you always have to find a way to grow your technique. So
Mm-hmm.
so how do you then do that? Do you have to maybe associate with other creatives like yourself, or do you just do it on your own? How do you go about maintaining your
Um,
growth?
I would like to associate with more creatives like me, but honestly, I do it mostly just on my own. And I think for me, I can definitely see more growth in just experimenting with other mediums. Like I've experimented with video. I enjoy that. I love fashion, and I want to get more into making fashion,
Ah,
like this headpiece is something I made,
yes.
just because I had a couple years ago, I had a small show, like in a window front, a storefront, and it was these headpieces on different mannequin heads. So for me, that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think for me, I think I would feel the most growth just experimenting with other types of mediums and ideas, and going beyond, painting with the acrylic.
Nice. So eventually you may start a jewelry line or something. We never know.
Yeah, I would
Nice,
love to
awesome.
do something like that.
Also, I also saw that you were also growing into the NFTs. So how do you find in that field?
Yeah, a few months ago, I had the opportunity to do a collection of NFTs with this marketplace called Nifty Gateway.
Yes.
And before that, I know people kept asking me, "Have you tried NFT?" And I was just like, I guess that's something I need to sit and learn about it and figure out how would that benefit me, or how could I use that in some way. So when this opportunity came about, I had to decide, okay, well, so what would I even make, or what would I do? And it was important for me to be able to use it as an opportunity to go beyond like just a like static image.
Mm,
So one cool thing about the NFT is, like, you can make it to a certain extent. You can make the digital art kind of do whatever you want. For example, with the NFTs I made, they're designed so that during the daytime they have a certain look, and then at nighttime they can change to a night look. So that was kind of cool to me, because it's something that I wouldn't be able to do just like with a painting. So
mm.
I think that was a fun part of the experiment, and also it sort of introduced me to a market of people that may not have heard of me before.
Yeah.
People that are really into the NFTs. So that was cool to be introduced to a different market. So it's something that I might experiment with again, but it's just a different way of doing things.
Yes, because artists always wonder whether it's a good direction or not a good
Hmm.
direction, and how
Yeah.
easy to get into it. So It's quite good. You gave us a good feedback on how it went. So
Yeah, it's something that I guess it's just still constantly evolving. So
mm,
I think, but I honestly, what I really would like is to be able to tie an NFT to the painting, like the original painting, so that
yes.
that way I can always track who has the painting, and
Mm,
then and also like with the NFT, like there's a way for like if someone buys your art and they sell it, then you could still get a percentage of that, of that
yeah.
profit. So but right now I don't have a way to really truly tie the NFT to a physical painting the way that I would like to, but
Mm.
maybe that'll get improved, as they
Maybe in the
develop the
future, I think,
technology.
yeah, definitely. Because this will definitely be an excellent way. Because we were thinking as well. I'm always, when I ask and I speak to other artists, one of the things that I believe is lacking is for artists to find that there is a way whereby you guys should be getting more revenue from your art.
Hmm.
Because when we sell music, there is royalties, but the
Yeah.
equivalent doesn't exist for paintings or for any art.
Hmm.
So hopefully you guys will also benefit for something like that very
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
Definitely. And well, obviously you told us you do commission work, but you must be very selective, I guess, when you do your commission work. Do you do a lot of it, or you just choose the ones you want to do?
Yeah, really. I mean, for most of the years, like I really kind of like shy away from commission, because I've had, I don't know, this can be kind of an uncomfortable experience because I like to create for myself and what I like. And with a commission, like I feel like you have to please somebody else,
Mm,
or if it's a portrait, they may be like, well, I don't like how you did my nose or this or that, and I don't like to deal with that. So, but over the past year, there've been some good commission opportunities that have come along, and there've been situations where they're like, do your thing. I mean, there are a couple of stipulations, like we need to we want a certain, I don't know, color or something like that, but I like being able to just express myself. So I'm open to commissions as long as I can do my thing and and create in my own style and and all that. But but yeah, I'll do them, but it's just, yeah, very very selective about it.
sure. So like commission should also still reflect your style, otherwise it wouldn't really make sense for
Exactly.
you.
Otherwise, then I'm gonna be miserable doing it, and
Yeah, I
there's
can
really not
imagine.
a point. So I'm open to it as long as I can reflect my own style and not be too restricted in what I do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, noted. And how do you prepare for an upcoming exhibition? When you know you have an exhibition coming up, how do you prepare?
Yeah, so I do have something coming up probably at some point next year, like a solo show right now. And preparing it involves, okay, so what am I going to do for it? And I'm still at that stage. I mean, I know it would be portraits, but I need to decide, so what's the overall look of the portraits? What am I trying to convey, like as a whole? And then I can know what I'm going to do with the individual pieces.
Mm,
And there's also the decision of like, so who will these people be?
mm,
And say if I want to paint other people, then I have to decide, okay, well, so now I've got to reach out to them, like, what do they want to, would they be open to even doing it? And if does a person live out of town, because I take photos of the people
mm.
for reference. So, am I going to be able to travel to where they are? And then from there, once I get the photos, then it's just deciding, like, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go from there, and the size of the pieces and all that. So yeah, just a lot. It's just a lot.
Wow.
But it just starts with just deciding, like, overall what I want the feeling and the theme to be.
And do you always know how many pieces you're going to do per exhibitions? Like, do you have a number in mind, or does it depend?
It depends on the size of the work and the physical location of the gallery or museum. So that really determines it. It just depends on. I really try to do as many as will fit and as many as I physically can. So yeah, the number would be limited to based on how much time I have and the size and, like, yeah, the location.
Okay. And how useful has social media been for you?
Social media has really helped me a lot as an artist, because I mentioned I didn't go to art school, so I feel like I think when people go to art school, like, it helps you build like connections, and you kind of have like that, community, and, but so for me, I started really like way back on MySpace. I start posting my art, and even back then, like I was meeting like actual like other artists and curators and people that are still friends right now. And then over time, then switched to like Instagram, and that's still been a really good way to discover other artists and for curators to find me. I think did you find me on Instagram too?
Yes,
I think
I
through
found you on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I went to one of your exhibition in London,
Oh,
and I
you
was like,
did?
oh.
Oh, okay.
And then when I
Okay.
saw that you was doing your NFT project, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and send her a message. Let's just see if she's gonna reply
Okay.
to me.
Okay. Well, thank you for going to that show in London. So yeah, like even for me, I think even the gallery that I'm showing with in London, I think initially they found me through Instagram. So it's been a really great way to meet people. But with Instagram, it's like now, honestly, I don't even know how to use Instagram anymore, because now I have more followers than ever, but like I'll make a post and I'll get like 20 likes. So I don't know what to do to get it to where people will see it, because now they make it where they don't show it to my followers anymore. So I don't know, but now I'm trying to get used to TikTok and build my following there. But I'll just keep posting it, and whoever is meant to see it, I guess, will see it.
That's the way forward. Just do
Mhm.
you, and people will just gradually come to you. It's the best
Yeah.
way forward. And then I like you do lives from time to time. I do check your lives on Instagram, and I like when you speak about different topics. So it gets an insight of who you are, and it's quite interesting. So
Okay,
I
I'm
meant to
glad you
tell
said
you
that.
that, give you feedback on that one.
Okay, I'll keep doing that
Yeah,
then.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. And then how do you decide how which curator or which gallery you want to work with?
It depends on, I guess, if we're a good match. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, for example, some of the work I do is very big, life size, maybe at least a couple of meters tall. So for that, then that's, if I'm gonna need to ship the work to somewhere, it could be like thousands of dollars just to ship the work. So
Yeah.
it would have to be a gallery that could afford to ship the work, that size. But I also do smaller work, so that gives me a little bit of flexibility. So if it's a smaller work, I might be able to work with more of like a smaller independent gallery that maybe having a show of like drawings or something like that. And then it just depends on, I guess, if I'm like just kind of, if I'm filling that gallery and their mission, and if I feel like their customer base might work with the type of work that I do, and also the timing is part of it. Maybe someone might invite me to show, but I'm too busy working on this, so I might be not be able to take that opportunity. Be a lot of different things go into it.
All right. And what would you what would you advise your younger self?
I would say don't quit,
Yeah.
because there were times with being an artist, I got started and things just weren't moving the way that I thought they should move, and so then I just felt discouraged, and I was like, well, maybe art's just not for me. Like I'm just gonna quit doing art. I don't want to see any art. I want to avoid all art in my life, and then I just focus on doing my 9-to-5 job. But it turns out it's really impossible to shut art out of your life, and it's impossible to avoid all art. And I went years like this, and I just wasn't truly happy. And then so I just slowly got back into it, and so now I'm telling myself I'm never gonna quit. But even if it means like I may roll it back a little bit and slow down, I'll always just keep going as long as I can.
So I totally see you having like different wings, like like I said, you could have jewelry line or today, and then I
Yeah,
could see your name still be there doing other stuff, whether design for
there's so
clothes
much
or
I could
anything.
do.
So I don't see you disappear anytime soon. So I'm very sure you'll
Yeah.
still be out there working hard. And also want to thank you for, creating these visuals of Black women, because as you said, because I think we're about the same generation. And these visuals, we could only see supermodels, and there was only a
Hmm.
few. Even having a
Yeah.
Black doll was challenging then.
Yeah,
So you know what?
seriously.
So
Mhm.
it's really, 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 it's amazing. It makes me feel good as a woman to be able to see such things. So I'd like to thank you for that.
I
And also
appreciate
thank
that
you
feedback.
for taking the time to do the interview with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
It was lovely meeting you, talking to you. I'm so happy that you actually answered to my message.